Hello, everybody. It is our Friday Partay, Friday Partay. And I'm hoping that you can see me and that you'll be able to hear me and there won't be too much of a lag. And I probably should say, hello from the Arctic. And by Arctic, I mean Michigan. Michigan, I need you to pull it together. Pull it together, Michigan. It's like 60 degrees outside. Way too cold for me. But let's see who we've got in my chat. Hey, Caroline. Hey, Sean. Hey, Adeline. And hey, Elena. I am so glad that you all are here with me. I'm beginning to really love our Fri-YAY Par-TAYs. Okay, beginning is probably not the right word. I already love spending time with y'all. But I love that I know I'm coming in and you all will be able to ask me questions. So, on that note, who's got a question? Who's got a question? Put that question in the chat. Let us see what you have for me. What do you have for me? Now, I'm thinking about what we could go over. Oh, can I explain net operating income? Yes, I can. I can most definitely explain net operating income. I am going to get to something on my iPad that will help. So, give me a second. That is, oh, here it is. And let me erase it and let me clear it. And now let me share my screen with you. So, all right, you are looking. Oh, and cap rates, Sean, go along with this. Cap rates go all over that, so we can talk about it. All right. Now, if we are talking about net operating income, you're usually talking about it because you're trying to find value. So let me just do this. If we're talking about finding value and we're using the income approach, you find that by taking the cap rate and you divide it. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong order. Give me a second. You are taking the cap rate, but you're first taking the NOI and you're dividing it by the cap rate. So let's talk about what this NOI is. And you can get your NOI from a budget. This is the operating budget for like an apartment complex, right? So when you are a property manager, part of your job is to go in and to say, all right, what do I think your numbers are going to look like this year? You see, now this is an old version, but it's annual. Whenever we do this, you need to be looking at our annual numbers. Did I spell that right? We'll go with it. Yep, annual. Yep. So let's say this is an apartment, and you can see I got this right from the North Carolina Real Estate Commission. We have a broker's manual, so I love this example. It works. So we first look at the income. And the first thing we're going to look at is going to be this potential, your gross potential income. And what do we know about potential? Very few people ever actually meet it, right? Like you rarely get to your potential. And what we're saying is if every single unit was rented for every single day, no late fee, nobody need to be evicted, no late payments that you didn't get payments for, no empties. If every single unit for every single day was rented every day of the year, then you could, in theory, make $1,458,000. If everything came in and just all the units came in, that's great. But also, we know that's not necessarily true. You are probably going to have some vacancies or monies you don't collect. And part of your job as a property manager is to know, well, what does this usually average at? So they're saying, oh, usually about 5% of your potential income you won't get. So you can probably assume you won't get $72,900 of that. Now, if you have other income like vending machines or laundry, you would add that in. So what we're saying is effectively, and the key word here is effectively, you can expect to bring in $1,395,900. So the difference here is between your potential income and that effective income. You have the potential to bring this in, but more than likely, you'll probably bring that in. So find your gross potential income, and from that, you subtract out your vacancies. That gives you your effective gross income. Well, you know the saying, it takes money to make money. So although you might bring in $1,395,900, dude, you've got to pay for expenses. You've got to pay for things like a management fee. In this case, it's 10% of the effective gross income. You got maintenance. You got your property taxes. That needs to be paid every year. Advertising, utilities, legal services. You see all of this. And again, as a property manager, you have a good idea of what this is going to be. So that's going to take us to $501,390. Those are your total expenses, estimated, what you think is going to happen in the future. So you probably will bring in $1,395,900, but you're going to have to put out $501,390, which means your NOI, your net operating income right here, that's going to be $894,510. That is your NOI, your net operating income. But wait, notice it does not include your debt service, like your principal and interest payments. It doesn't include your capital expenditures. If we were to include those things, then you'd have a before-tax cash flow. Don't let the test trick you. You don't include debt service, nor do you include capital expenditures when you're trying to find NOI. You don't include those. That would be for your before-tax cash flow, otherwise known as your throw-off. Right? You want to stop here. That would be your NOI. So we could take that NOI, so that's $894,510. So it would be $894,510, and you'll divide it by a given cap rate. They would have to give it to you, or they would have to give you the value and the NOI, and then you find the cap rate. But the cap rate is basically a rate of how much money you're going to be making. It's the rate of, how your money comes up. Yes, Ricardo! What? Yay! I love that. You know what you get, Ricardo.
Good job, good job. Good job, good job. T-O-O-D-J-O-B. Good job, good job.
Hey, and...
My money don't jiggle, jiggle, it falls. I like to see you wiggle, wiggle, for sure.
We love that. I love that for you. Doom, doom. Another one passed the test. Hey, doom, doom, doom. Another one passed the test. It's another one passed. Another one won. Another one passed the test. I love it. Oh, that makes me so very happy. I am so proud of you. Congratulations, Ricardo. Oh, I love it. So, not that I want to take away from the celebration, but I want to make sure that that makes sense to Adeline. Adeline, does that make sense what an NOI is that you would use? Hey, Antonio. Oh, good, Ricardo. Good. I'm so glad. Yay. And so the cap rate would just be something like you would do, maybe it's a 7% cap rate. And then you would do that and you would find value. So the cap rate is capitalization rate. It's like a rate of return on your investment. Very similar. So I just need to know, does that make sense, Adeline and Sean? Yay, it makes sense. Woot, woot. We love it. We love it. We love it. Hey. Now, Destiny, you said, can we go over effective, actual, and all those age things? Yes, we can. Now, those are going to be, so let's just say this. Oh, actually, let's use the picture. Let's use the picture. All of this, when we're talking about that income approach, Remember, guys, I'm trying to go slower so that I don't make you sick as I scroll. It just takes a second then. Don't mind my scroll. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Oh, and let me erase what I've got going on here. All right. What we just talked about is right here. We just talked about NOI with the direct income approach. This is what we just talked about, right? We used NOI to find value. That's one of the approaches. Another type of approach is, oh, I thought my phone was off. My bad, my bad. So, sorry, I had to turn it off. Another approach would be the cost approach. Remember, the cost approach is what you use for unusual properties or if you don't have good comps, right? So part of the cost approach is you got to first rebuild the property and figure out how much it's going to cost to rebuild it. Then you need to depreciate it. And you've got option 1, the breakdown method, or you've got option 2, the age straight life method. And that is where you have your effective age and your chronological age. I don't know if I spelled that right, but we'll go for it. You have your economic life. All these words have to do with this age straight life. Did I miss anything there? Let me make sure. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think I got all of them. So let's do the math because this one is going to be one that you can't understand unless you see the math. So, boom. Let's go to this. And good. Let's lock that in. So let's say you have a property and brand new, let's say it's a warehouse. And they're using the cost approach. They figured out brand new that the warehouse is going to be worth $1,300,000. Let's use this number, $95,000. That was from the last thing. This warehouse, brand spanking new, is going to be good. It's going to be worth $1,395,000. Well, something that the appraiser comes up with, not you, but the appraiser comes up with its economic life, or what we call the useful life. And what this is this is the appraiser saying, hey, if you build it now, then how many years will it have value? Will it be of use to you? I like to think of it as like the shelf life. So if you've watched my videos on the appraisals, I say it's like deviled eggs out in the summertime in July. Those have a shelf life out in the sun of about maybe an hour, if that. Hey, Bean, just saw you. It's got like a shelf life of maybe an hour. That's how long it's good for. You know, like that's after an hour, I'm probably tossing those. Well, we're doing the same thing with this structure. This brand new warehouse, it may be helpful to people for 82 years. I'm just making a number up. I made that up. This is something the appraiser learns how to find when they go to appraisal school. For you, they have to tell it to you. So what we're saying is when it's brand new, this thing is worth $1,395,000. And then in 82 years, it'll be worth nothing. I meant to do that. It's not worth anything. And that means we could look at this and say, well, how much are you losing every year? If you were going to say, oh, I'm worth $1.3 million, but in 82 years, I'll be worth nothing. How do I find how much I'm losing each year? Well, we can do that. We're going to do $1,395,000, and we're going to divide it by 82. And that's going to give me, let me grab my handy dandy calculator. 1395000 divided by 82 is going to give me $17,012.19. Let's just call it 20 cents. That's your loss every year. So once you know how to do that, the problem's going to say, hey, oh, this thing is 10 years old. That's its chronological age. It's 10 years old. Well, that means you've lost $17,012.20 10 times. And when you do that math, let me do it. 17,012.20 times 10. Okay, in hindsight, I probably just could have moved the decimal. That means you've lost over 10 years $170,122 even. So if you started at $1,395,000 and you've lost $170,122, then your new value is $1,224,878. That would be the new value. Now, we said it was 10 years old. You might get something called the effective age. So chronological age is how many years it is. Effective age is what does it feel like? That's terrible. What does it feel like? Think of it this way. You ever meet somebody who is 40, but they look 30? They are chronologically 40, but they effectively look 30. What does it look like? So if the person who had this warehouse took excellent care of it and it was 10 years old by number, it might only feel 4 years old. It could have an effective age of 4 years, even though it's chronologically 10 years old. And if you're ever given both, always go with the effective age. If you're only given one, go with the one. But if you're given both, always go with the effective age. So if that is the case, I'm going to say, oh, I had $17,012.20 times 4. It feels 4 years old. And that means my total loss would be 17,012.20 times 4 equals $68,048.80. So I would take the 1,395,000. I would subtract the 68,048.80, and that's going to be something with 20 cents. Subtract 1,395,000. That's going to be $1,326,951. Right? So look at that difference. It would feel like a $1,300,000 property, but if you go the actual age, it's $1,200,000. So let me know, does that help? I forgot who asked of Destiny. That was for you. Does this help? Go ahead and let me know in the chat while I take a sip of water. All right, I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping it makes sense. And unless somebody's got a question. Oh, good. Thanks, Destiny. Yay, yay, yay. Somebody asked me to explain commission, math commission. So Elena, hi Elena. tell me what you mean. Like, do you want me to go over how commissions work for the math test or real life, or like the different types of commissions? Or, like, you're saying math commission, so I'm assuming you mean how do you figure out what your commission is, or is there a certain math problem that you tried and you couldn't get? Because if you type that math problem into the chat, I can do it. I can do it. Also, I wanted y'all to know, if you watch my videos, you know, there's me and Chris, and we do the question breakdown. It is a busy season for us, but he has promised in the next couple weeks we will make some more videos for you all. How do you answer these questions? Right? So, yes, you want me, I'm assuming, Elena, for the exam. All right. So, your exam problems are probably gonna be pretty. Let's see if I can find some sample math for you. La 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 la. That's that song. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for some sample math. Do I have any sample math here? Maybe here. Yeah, let's try some. Let's try this. Let me clear this. And let me find some commission math, which I want to say is the first type of math here. Now, Elena, while I'm doing this, do you T-bar or do you do algebraic? And this is for everybody. Do you all want me to T-bar, or do you want me to do this algebraically? Or I could do it both. So somebody put in the chat T-bar or algebra or both. It's up to you. It's up to you. Perfect fits. Sitting on, putting on the Ritz. That's what's in my head. I don't know. Putting on the Ritz. Both. Okay, Sean, I got you. Algebra, both. Okay, both. Hey, Anna, you would love to know questions to ask brokerages for employments and T-bar. I have a video on that. I do have a video on that, Anna. So, of course. And if you want to make an appointment with me so that we can go over it or compare what I do in the video, you know, that's good too. Oh, you know what? We could make a video of that, Anna, you and me. You know, they won't see you, but we could have this conversation. That would be a great video. Email me. So let's do this both ways. You know, that noise doesn't, it doesn't work unless you make the noise while you draw the lines. So I'm going to do it algebraically over here. If I were to do it algebraically to find the answer, first you read the question in both instances. A house sells for $250,000. The seller agrees to a 6% commission with the listing firm. What was the commission paid? So I would literally take the commission, the sales price, I would multiply it by 6%, and that's going to give me the total commission. And so when I do that, the total commission is going to be 250 times 6%, $15,000. Right? And I literally put in the calculator $250,000 times 6. Now, I use the percentage sign. But if I were to change this, it'd be 0.6. So depending if you want to change it or not. So that's that. How would I T-bar it? Well, first I'd make a T-bar. And I know this is the rate of something. This is the amount of that same something. It's a mirror. And this is going to be my original or my whole. So now that I know all those, I can say, all right, the first thing to find is the rate, and it's 6%, and that is a rate of commission. So I can write up here, amount of commission, and the whole. When you get a commission, you're getting a portion of the sales price. So now that I've labeled, I can figure out where these numbers go. $250,000 is not the amount of commission. Is it my sales price? Yep. 6% we already have here, and we've got 2 out of 3, so I'm going to multiply. 6% of $250,000 is $15,000. Now, in something like this, it would be really easy just to go ahead and use this version. But what if they ask you something like number 2? What is the commission rate if the seller pays $15,125 when the selling price is $275,000? Okay, well, we can do this. We choose a different color. Now, algebraically, what we would be saying is if the sales price is $275,000, what is the rate that would give you $15,125 as amount of total commission? So if this is my unknown, to solve for my unknown, I've got to take this right here and I've got to get rid of it. So that means I'm going to divide by 275,000. And what I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So that means my unknown percentage is going to be $15,125 divided by $275,000. And that's going to give me 15,125 divided by 275. That's going to give me our unknown percentage of 0.055, which is 5.5%. That's how I would do that algebraically. If I was using a T-bar, well, my first step actually is to make the T-bar. This is the rate of something. This is the amount of that same something, which is mirrored. And then this would be my original or my whole. So the rate is what they are asking me for. They're asking me what is the commission rate. That is what I don't know. They're asking me for a rate of commission, which means up here I write amount of commission. If I can get my pencil to work. And all commissions are based off of a sales price. So now I put the numbers where they belong. The seller paid $15,125. That is not the sales price. That is the amount of commission. And it tells us the selling price is $275,000. Now I've got 2 out of 3 in my T-bar, so I can find my unknown. And I do that by putting in my calculator 15,125. You put the top number in first, TGIF. Top number goes in first. And then I'm going to divide this by 275. And that's going to give me that answer of 5.5%. So I don't know if that is what you needed, Elena, or if there's another type of problem you wanted me to do, but that is generally what you're looking at when you have a commission problem. That is generally what you find. So I can do, the other one is finding the purchase price, if that's what you wanted to do. But I think that is the basics there. God, just let me know. And if anybody else has a question, you need to drop it in the chat. Put your question in the chat. Good. Oh, Elena, always. Of course. I love doing this for y'all. So, anything else I need to go over? Are you all keeping it a short day today? Which, it's freezing. I need to take a hot shower. Let's do finding the purchase price. Great. Okay, we can do finding the purchase price. Let me separate this out. No, Elena, when I asked how should I do it, you said I should do both. Okay, so let's do the T-bar first. Let's do the T-bar first this time. Our first step is always to read the question. What is the purchase price of a property if the commission rate is 6% and the commission paid is $45,000? So you know we make a T. And this is going to be here. And this is the rate of something. This is the amount of something. And this is going to be based off of our original or whole. Remember, when it comes to T-bars, labeling is the key. Label, label, label. When I'm using a T-bar, I go through and I do all this labeling. And the easiest thing that I can do is find the rate. And our rate is 6%. So I'm going to write 6% here. And now I describe it. That is a rate of commission. And if I wrote commission down here, I wrote commission up here. I write it. And once again, all commissions are based off of a sales price. So now I can go through the numbers. We're looking for the purchase price. And it's telling me the commission paid is $45,000. So what do? TGIF. Top goes in first. I'm going to take this $45,000. I'm going to divide it by 6%, which we know is 0.06. And that's going to tell me what my sales price is. So 45,000 divided by 6% is $750,000. Right. Now, what we're going to do is algebraically, we know that whatever the sales price was, if we multiplied it by 6%, we would get $45,000. We're trying to get this by itself, which means I need to remove this. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, so to get rid of it, I divide by 6%, which means I divide by 6% over here. So the sales price is equal to $45,000 divided by 6%, and our sales price is equal to $750,000. Now notice we did the same thing here and here. It's all about, do you memorize the formula? Because this formula, actually I think I have it up here, don't I? Yeah. If you take the sales price and multiply it by the commission rate, you get an amount of commission. So if you memorize your formulas, then you can fill it in and solve. Does that help? Let me know. I'm hoping it helps. I'm hoping it helps. Yeah. Do I need to do another one, a more complicated one, or do we want to work on something else? Or does somebody does a lot? Good, good. And if somebody has another question, of course, this is why I'm here. I know a lot of you don't have access to a live teacher, and now you do. Live teacher every Friday at 2. So, or 2, what am I talking about? At 3. It's 3 o'clock my time. It's 12 o'clock if you're in the Pacific Coast, the West Coast. But, I bet it's warm on the West Coast, unlike here. Anything else I can help anybody with before it's 3:35. I'm glad to stay till 4 if you want me to. But if you don't have anything, then, we can, a vocab word, a concept, a more complicated one is good. Okay, I can do a more complicated one. Let's see. Let's try. Let's try number 5. James sold his property at 1234 Beach Road with the assistance of Homes Here Realty and agreed to pay a 5% commission. If the sales price was $363,800, how much commission did Homes Here Realty receive if they offered 40% of the total commission to the selling firm? All right, so here's how I would do this one. Do it algebraically first. I know that the sales price was $363,800. All right. And if I multiply that by 5%, I will get a total commission amount. So my total commission is $363,800 times 5%. That's $18,190. Now, of that $18,190, that's total. Remember, that is, the listing. That's what the listing was listed for. Hey, there's a 5% commission. But here, Homes Here Realty said they would give to the selling firm, the buyer's agent, 40% of that. So I'm going to take $18,190 and multiply it by 40% because that's the money that Homes Here didn't get to keep. So $18,190 times 40% is $7,276. That's going to the selling firm. But we're asking how much Homes Here Realty received. So we're going to take that $18,190 and subtract out the $7,276. And that gives me an answer of, drum roll please, $18,190, which is $10,914. Final answer. How do you sign up for the one-on-one tutoring? Easy enough. You can go to prepagent.com / private tutoring. And it's going to be, and then my name. Oh, sorry. So, or just email me. And I can send you the link. And that's just going to be CandiceEllis@gmail. All right. Okay, let me just say this problem real quick. This would take 2 T-bars. This would be a 5% rate of commission, which would make this an amount of commission. And this would be based off a sales price. And when you do that, you would do, this is $363,800, and this is going to give you $18,190. But now we've used this T-bar, and what you do is you make another T-bar using the next rate. And the other rate is 40%. So this is the rate of buyer agent commission. And this will be the amount of buyer's agent commission. And it's a portion of the total sales price. No, I take that back. It's a portion of the total commission. The buyer's agent, that selling firm, is not getting 40% of the sales price. They're getting 40% of the total commission, which means if the total commission was $18,190, I would multiply, and that's where I would get that $7,276. Now remember, this is a tool. This answer will be there. But that's not the answer we're looking for. We still have to take this step right here. So that means home here is not getting 18,190. It's less than 726. And we already know that's 10,914. Sometimes you need more than one T-bar. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Oh, and then Destiny, you said optionee, optionor. I can do that. So let's say we're talking about options. You got person A. He owns the land. And then you have person B. So usually what would happen is buyer B says, hey, and remember we did this in the webinar the other day. Hey, I'm going to buy. I will buy, and I will give you money. And in exchange, you will give title. That is a bilateral contract. Both people have promised to do something. However, with an option, you've got this person, owner A, and says, we got this person over here, owner B, or buyer B. In this case, owner A is giving the right to buy. So they have a contract. This is your option contract. And it says, if you want to buy it, you can. This owner A is literally giving buyer B the right to buy, and they've come up with the sales price. It's a contract. Buyer B is saying, I might buy, but no one else can before me. So what person B is buying is the right. They're buying the right to buy at some preset cost to the exclusion of others. No one else can buy before me. Now, this is going to cost money. That means they're going to give them some money because the seller is effectively taking this off the market. Now, if buyer, you decide not to buy, this money stays with the seller. You're buying the right to be the only one who has to, that the only one that can buy it. That makes owner A the option nor because they gave the right to buy. And that makes person B the optionee because they received the right to buy. Right? Does this help? Yes? All right. Any other questions? I just had a text come in. I have some family stuff I need to deal with. It's always something, guys, but I don't mind. If somebody has another specific question, I will answer it. Otherwise, I was thinking next week, I want y'all to come with questions. Oh, don't forget, you can catch me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on Prep Agent, and then Fridays are going to be for you all for free. I love some freeness, right? But I just wanted to make sure that nobody had anything else they wanted to go over. Oh, guys, I thought I broke up with death a while back. And I granted it was my great uncle and he was like 93. But it's just, there's so much to go through. I don't even mean emotionally. I mean just with stuff to do. So, but He lived a great long life. Luckily, all people in my family live in their 90s. I hope I am that blessed as well. Guys, if you need anything, you know how to reach me. And you know what? I will say this. If you, oh, you will definitely come with questions next Friday. Great. If you come with questions or if you get a question during the week that you're like, oh, I think Candace should do this in the Fri-YAY Par-TAY, email it to me. You can go ahead and you email it to me, or you can drop it in, like rewatch one of these and drop it in the chat and give it the title, the subject, I should say, Fri-YAY Par-TAY. And that way I'll save it. Oh, thank you, KJ. Thank you, KJ. I'll save it, and there we go. And I'll pull it up. Oh, Trix, you're late, but you will have questions for next Friday. Trix, no worries. No worries. We'll get you next Friday. And I know, Trix, you come to our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if I have a chance, I'll answer it then too. Guys, keep coming. I love this. Invite your friends. The more people, then the more we can have questions. Oh, thanks, Trix. So I will see y'all next week. Be good, or at least don't get caught. Bye, everybody. Bye.